Why working harder no longer guarantees a better life. For most of modern history, there was a simple promise. If you worked hard, improved your skills, and stayed disciplined, your life would gradually get better. You would earn more, become more secure, and eventually feel stable. That promise shaped how people planned their lives, chose careers, and measured success. Today, that promise feels weaker than ever. People are working longer hours. They are more educated, more productive, more connected, yet many feel stuck. Progress feels slower. Stability feels fragile. And effort no longer seems to translate into security. This is not because people suddenly became lazy or less capable. It's because the relationship between work and reward has changed. To understand why working harder no longer guarantees a better life, we need to look at how work fits into the modern economic system. In the past, work and value were closely linked. If you produced more, you were paid more. If you gained experience, your income increased. Economic growth translated into rising living standards for most people. That connection has weakened. Productivity has continued to rise, driven by technology, automation, and efficiency. One worker can now do what once required many. In theory, this should mean higher wages and more free time. In practice, it has meant something very different. When productivity increases, the total value created by work grows. But how that value is distributed depends on power, ownership, and structure. In modern economies, productivity gains increasingly flow to capital rather than labor. Machines, software, platforms, and systems now do a large portion of the work. The people who own those systems capture most of the rewards. Workers, even highly skilled ones, receive a smaller share. This changes the role of effort. Working harder within a system that does not reward labor proportionally produces diminishing returns. Extra hours increase output, but not income. Experience increases value, but not security. At the same time, competition has intensified. Work is no longer local, it is global. Employers can source talent from anywhere. Jobs can be outsourced. Tasks can be automated. This reduces the bargaining power of individual workers, no matter how hard they work. When effort is abundant, it loses pricing power. Another factor is cost inflation in essential areas of life. Even when income rises, core expenses rise faster. Housing, healthcare, education, and transportation consume a growing share of earnings. These costs are largely outside individual control. Working harder does not make them cheaper. As a result, gains from effort are absorbed by rising living costs rather than improving quality of life. This creates a treadmill effect. People run faster just to stay in the same place. Work has also become more fragmented, stable. Long-term employment has been replaced by short contracts, gig work, and performance-based systems. Income is less predictable. Benefits are reduced. Risk is shifted from institutions to individuals. In this environment, working harder often means taking on more uncertainty, not more security. There is also a psychological shift. When success feels out of reach, people internalize failure. They blame themselves. They assume they are not working hard enough, not improving fast enough, or not making the right choices. But the problem is not individual effort. It is the structure of incentives. Modern economies reward scalability more than contribution. Systems that can grow without proportional labor are favored. Platforms, algorithms, and capital-intensive models outperform human-intensive ones. Ownership, positioning, and timing matter more. This does not mean effort is meaningless. Work still matters. Skills still matter. Discipline still matters. But effort alone is no longer a guarantee. It must be aligned with systems that reward it. This is why many people feel disillusioned. They did what they were told. They studied, they worked, they sacrificed, and yet the outcome feels uncertain. Understanding this shift does not provide an easy solution, but it does provide clarity. Working harder no longer guarantees a better life because the system has changed what it rewards. Labor is abundant, capital is scalable, and value flows toward what can grow without limits. Recognizing this reality allows people to adjust expectations, make more informed decisions, and stop measuring success solely through effort. Because in the modern economy, progress is not just about how hard you work, it is about where your effort is applied, how value is captured, and whether the system you operate in rewards human input at all, and understanding that difference is essential to navigating the world as it is, not as it once was.